Well, hey everyone, I'm Dr. Nancy Stanley, physical therapist, life coach, and health coach. And look at that. This is my bromelia that I got, oh gosh, it's been about a month ago. And when I got it, I saw the little pink bloom down in the middle here. It was just barely down there. And I thought, okay, I've got to get that. I bought it at a landscaping shop down in St. Simon's, and look what's happened. It's just shot up. And this bloom, I've had these before, will stay here for, I don't know, a couple of months. And I just enjoy it so much. So I wanted to share it with you because I love flowers. And so go find you one of these. You can find them at different stores, and look down in there and you may see that little bloom coming up. It actually had a pup. The other little plants that come off around the bottom are called pups, and you can pull those off. I've got one in water over here that I'm going to plant and hopefully grow me one of these. But this was just I just had to share this with you. It's got, actually, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's got some little blue seed looking things that pop in there. Okay, so tonight I wanted, first of all, thank you for joining me. And I wanted to talk about ketosis again because I did, let's see, tonight is Thursday. Tuesday night, I talked about sugar and the brain and Alzheimer's and ketosis. So if you missed that, you need to scroll back up in my feed and watch that, because it's also on my YouTube channel. You can go to Dr. Nancy Stanley and just put in there Alzheimer's and cancer, or Alzheimer's, sugar and Alzheimer's, and you should be able to pull it up. But I just posted it in there. But it's also going out in my email. So if you don't get my email, then you need to message me or put your email in the comments, and I'll be sure and add you to my email list, and I'll go back and pull that email and send it to you, because it's definitely one you want to hear. And so I'm going to follow that up tonight, and this is really kind of short tonight because there's just not a lot of information, but there's some new information that I think you want to know. So one of the things I started with last Tuesday was talking about, our brain uses 25% of our energy. And so that was one of the things I talked about in terms of Alzheimer's, and ketones actually are the best fuel source for your brain. And as we age, our body's ability to use glucose by the brain's ability to use glucose actually diminishes. And so that's why it's so important to practice the ketogenic diet as we age, as a therapeutic model for decreasing aging of the brain. So go back and listen to that and you'll pick that up. Okay, but tonight I wanted to talk about cancer and the ketogenic diet and the research that I'm finding out that is, hey Linda, hey Debbie, good to see y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. Put in the comments below if you've had a family member that's had cancer and died with cancer. Okay, or maybe just if they've had cancer, just yes, cancer in the family. I mean, I think probably every family member, every family that I know has had someone die. My dad died with cancer. I was about 26 years old. I was pregnant with my second child, and he got diagnosed with bone cancer and in July, and he died in February. And I had never known my daddy to be sick, ever, not one day. And so that was really devastating to our family because he was 63 years old. My mom was 58, and to lose the love of her life, that quickly. Yeah, so your nephew had glioblastoma at age 27. Who is that? Sharon. Yes. Okay, so now actually the research that I just did this week talked about what they're doing with ketosis and glioblastoma. It was in a summit that I attended. There were 50 doctors, and one of the doctors is doing research on that down at the University of South Florida, and he's and even Dr. Thomas Siegfried. If you'll go on YouTube and look him up, Seyfried, and just follow him. He's been on the cutting edge of doing cancer research using ketosis and fasting, okay? And he even has written a paper, a peer review, so just go to PubMed, and there are 2,000 articles about it, or more, but saying that you can reduce your risk of cancer by 95% if you'll fast for, I think it's 7 days twice a year. And I just recently did a 44-hour fast, and then I did a 36-hour fast. I fast a lot because I just feel so good when I fast, and it is very healthy for your body. So just now, not everybody can fast. If you're pregnant or nursing, you don't need to be fasting. Or if you're malnourished or have eating disorder, you don't need to fast without coaching from someone. But that's what I do. I help people learn how to do fast in a healthy way. All right. So I want to talk tonight about your blood sugar and cancer. All right. So first of all, I want to tell you that, if you're diabetic, you have an increased risk, we know, of heart disease and, heart attack, cardiovascular disease. But what we also know is you have an increased risk for cancer, and particularly pancreatic cancer, colorectal cancer, endometrial cancer, breast and bladder cancer. Those cancers, your risk for those cancers is increased because you're diabetic. And that's why I love to teach my clients how to reverse their diabetes. And every client that I've ever had that's diabetic has reversed their diabetes. You can cure, there is a cure for diabetes. Now, I'm not talking about type 1, I'm talking about type 2. All of my patients have come off of most, if not all, of their medications by doing what I've taught them, okay? So just know that. So one of the things we know is that the rise, if you have a rise in your A1C, it oftentimes will, it'll occur months before your doctor will actually tell you about it. Hey, Sarah Lynn, good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I think I saw Denise on here too. I can only see one name at a time, so if I see your name, I'll call you out, but thanks for joining me. Okay, so, and here's what happens. I've heard it over and over and over again. The doctor will say something like, well, your blood sugar's up a little bit. And so they'll hand you a diet, or they'll tell you to see the nutritionist, or they'll tell you need to lose weight. And do you know what percentage of people actually do that? About 1%. And why? Because they don't know what to do. They're confused. They think that it's the SAD diet, the standard American diet, or the food pyramid, or, and unless you have a nutritionist that's really familiar with how to really lose weight without exercise and counting calories, it's just not going to work for you. And if you've been in my program and you know this, would you just hit the like button or the love button now and just share that, this is the truth. Okay, so so your physician, he may notice it, but then he won't tell you this for sure for several months. And by that time, you are more at risk and maybe have to start on medicine. So they try to give you a choice to do a diet or something, and what we know is that just doesn't work. Okay, so even if you're losing weight, so this is really key here, and this is what family practice doctors need to know, and they need to have this knowledge, but I don't know how many of them do. If your sugar level still rises and you're losing weight, then you should be being checked for pancreatic cancer, because that's one of the things that we notice is that the blood sugar continues to rise, but you can lose weight. So just know that is a risk. So at the first sign of increased blood sugar, you should be being monitored for pancreatic cancer because of the increased risk. All right, so now I want to leave that a minute and talk about ketones. All right, so we know that ketones is what your body makes when you are not consuming carbs. All right, so you'll go into ketosis as soon as you cut back on your carbs. Your body will start using ketones, and you can even take ketones. I take ketones, exogenous ketones, every day with MCT oil and putting fats in my diet. Oh, and by the way, let me show you this before I forget. So this was my supper tonight. So this is a pork tenderloin that I cut in little medallions. I grilled it in the pan with garlic and avocado oil and some ghee, and then I sauteed some mushrooms, poured some heavy cream on that, and made that delicious. I'm telling you, it's delicious. And then you see a little avocado and some stewed squash with some onions that I put some ghee in that too. Just that butter is so rich and it gives it such a rich taste. I'm going to put this recipe, I may even do a little demo of it in an email soon. So if you want this recipe, which it's really not a recipe, it's just something I throw together, then I need your email because it's going to be going out in the email. Okay, but back to ketones. All right. So what we know now, these cancer research people, they know that tumors love sugar. In fact, that's what feeds them is sugar. And so if you have a PET scan done, you know what they put in your body to hunt down the tumor and it lights up is glucose. So if they're using that to locate the tumor, then we know that sugar is feeding the yes, it was delicious, Linda. It's one of my favorite meals. I told my daughter I wish I had some mashed cauliflower to eat with that, and she said rice. I said no, I'd rather have mashed cauliflower. Okay, so so taking in more sugar, high carbs, high fructose corn syrup, too much fruit, cereals, oatmeal, grains, all of that turns to sugar, is feeding your cancer cells. And we all have cancer cells in our body. It's just some of us have a tumor. You may have a breast tumor that you don't even know about, or you may have a pancreatic tumor, or you may have a bladder tumor that you don't know about, but you're feeding it with sugar. All right, that's what's feeding it. Now, cancer cells do not like ketones. In fact, ketones agitate them. All right, so, and they even can damage them. So is this connecting with you? I mean, is it making sense? All right, so the ketogenic diet has become a cornerstone for a powerful metabolic therapeutic program. And so many of the doctors that I follow are using the ketogenic diet along with fasting and exogenous ketones to enhance maybe the chemotherapy and the radiation. At the minimum, it's going to make the chemo and the radiation more effective because it's going to starve the tumor cells from the sugar that's actually helping them to reproduce. So think about it. Tumors, cancer is fueled by sugar, and if you remove the fuel, it's like taking your foot off the accelerator. And I don't know about you, but that's what I want to do. I said the other night, if I found out tomorrow that I had a tumor, I would immediately go on at least a 21-day fast, a water fast. And there's testimony after testimony after testimony of people that have done this and reversed their cancer for years. Hey, Alexis, good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so so what you're doing is you're reducing the fuel source, and that's how you kill something, is you take its fuel source away. All right. And also it makes the chemotherapy and the radiation more effective, and that's what they're finding out. Okay, so before I leave, I want to real quickly review the benefits of ketosis, all right, in addition to enhancing the effectiveness of maybe your chemo and radiation therapy and starving tumors, which that's enough right there. I mean, honestly, that's enough. But this is overwhelming evidence, and I have witnessed this with over 1,000 people in my program. All right, so number one, your blood pressure goes down, and that happens usually within a few days. My clients start to get a little bit weak, and I'm like, you need to call your doctor, check your blood pressure, because your blood pressure's dropping. All of my clients come off of some, if not all, of their blood pressure medicine. Number two, your blood glucose goes down, your heart rate goes down, your blood levels of insulin go down. Let's see, what was the name of the book who did the cancer research you mentioned tonight? Let's see. Oh, Thomas Seyfried. I'll put it in the comments. Okay, I'll put it in the comments. All right. Blood insulin goes down. Your CRP, your C-reactive protein, which is your level of inflammation in your body, goes down. Your triglycerides go down. Your sleep goes up. Your gut health goes up. Your brain fog goes down. Your pain goes down. Your edema goes down. Your kidney function improves. I've had people go from stage 3 and stage 4 kidney dysfunction back to stage 1 and 2. All right, so your LDL may go up a little bit, but when you're getting all these benefits, how awesome is that? And autoimmune goes down. Just so many things happen. All right, so let's see. What are the ketones that you take? You know what they are? Is that it's not Isopure. It's Keto Elevate. That's the ones I take. Yeah, I put 2 scoops of that in my coffee, but I have a big cup of coffee in the morning. And then I have used some others from Prove It. Those NAT ones, I've used those. I'm out of those right now. But just MCT oil is a great one. I mean, it's really good. But butter, fats, good fats, meat with fat on it, like we had that pork tonight had some fat on it. I always look for fat on the meat. A ribeye steaks, hamburger with more fat in it, as long as it's good organic grass-fed hamburger. I love that. Yeah, Keto Elevate is great, but I'm going to tell y'all, the ones that are in my group, I'll post it in the Marco Polo. I found another one that's good, that is has a little less additives in it, and it's cheaper, because the Keto Elevate is really expensive. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to show you before I left. I found these today down in Baxley at Circle F, and these are called Pork King Good, and they're now these are the onion and sour cream ones. I didn't get those. I got the butter ones, but I don't know where they are. And I read, and they have butter in them. They don't have anything. They do have some natural flavors, but you can find these on Amazon. Okay, or you can get them there for $3, but on Amazon I think they're like $2.25 a bag. But you can use this to scoop your fermented cheese. I made egg salad yesterday. You can use it to scoop that, or you can use siete chips or other things. Okay, now